Holy crap, what the fuck was my last video? It was a little bit intense, but can you blame me? I mean, I've been living under this noise for pretty much my entire life, and I don't even live in Guildford anymore, so the noise, it just follows me everywhere, but I think I'm good. I'm good. I got it out of my system, so it's all good. But today I want to talk about something a little bit more light-hearted today and a bit of a life lesson. So there's this weekly 5K running event that happens all across Australia and other countries as well, and it's called Parkrun, and it happens every Saturday. I first discovered Parkrun when I was just sort of looking for new hobbies to get into. This was sort of around the time when I was working on Black Ops The Story too. Like, I thought that, like, while working on that video, I genuinely thought that was going to be my final video, but here we are, I'm still going, sort of. I know I haven't been as frequent as I once was with my uploads, but yeah, I'm still here. And while looking for new things to occupy my time, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should get into exercise, specifically running, because it's so easy. You don't need any equipment. Anyone can do it. There's virtually no barrier to entry. And I just needed a reason to fucking leave the house. So about a few days per week, I started going on for jogs. I'm not super fast or anything, but it's something to do, I guess. And so I thought to myself, yeah, this is pretty fun, but it'd be pretty cool if I did this with other people. I wonder, is there like a fucking run club or some sort of... So I started looking up some run clubs on like, just across the internet, whether it's through like Facebook or... Like, I even fucking went as far as delving into the depths of Reddit. Yes, Reddit, to seek out a community, which, by the way, that's probably the worst possible place you could find a community. And now, I don't know how this led to my discovery of Parkrun, but I'm pretty sure I discovered it from Reddit. I found a thread someone made on r/Sydney talking about, like, hey, I'm looking for a run club to join, and I think that's when I saw someone in the comments saying, hey, yeah, did you know Parkrun is a thing, blah, blah, blah. And so I went on their website, I made an account, got myself a barcode because, like, basically without a barcode, you won't know what your results were, how fast you were on a particular parkrun meetup. So if you're a slow fuck like me who... like a 35-minute 5K for 25-year-olds, it's like the bottom 25% or some shit. So I'm pretty slow, but no, I don't really mind, really. For me, the reason why I like parkrun is sort of about that community. Just like, yeah, community, like, oh yeah, I'm such a faggot. And it's not even to make new friends. I'm open to making new friends, but it's not something that I expect from it at all. It's sort of how I treat Draenor Village World 301. If you saw that video that I made, I just see it as a means of doing what I already was doing, which in this case is just going on runs, while also feeling that community spirit, that community feel, while also at the same time not being pressured to participate socially. I see a lot of parallels between World 301 Draenor Village and Parkrun. They're basically the same thing, but there's no e-drama. So yeah, I made a Parkrun account. Like, I got myself a barcode like back in February of 2024, or it might have been earlier than that. And it wasn't until much, much more later, I think like December of that year, that's when I actually started to go to these park runs, and it was all because I was just busy working, man. Working on Black Ops The Story 2, I mean, like, I was so occupied, but I'm glad that I eventually found time to participate in these events. And I remember during my very first parkrun, I think I arrived a little bit earlier than usual, like earlier than the actual start time. And for some reason, I just remember feeling off. like I'm not supposed to be here, like I'm meeting up with someone to do a drug deal. Like it, for some reason, it just felt like I was doing something wrong. I don't even know how to describe that feeling accurately, but that's just the best way I could describe it. I guess on some level, I didn't expect anyone to show up, even though it's such a popular event. So when I saw the volunteers, the volleys, as the Australians call them, I know the Americans call them marshals. But yeah, then I saw the volunteers come in with the high vis shirts, and then I thought, oh, okay, people actually are showing up because yeah, it's very jarring to me, especially as a Gen Z male. We don't really see third places. We don't really see people actually meet up with each other on a regular basis, especially ones that are for free. I mean, I know, sure, going to the bar is a thing as a social place, but there's always that expectation of, oh yeah, you gotta spend money, you gotta drink alcohol, which, listen, I have no problems with alcohol myself. If you know me in real life, which I know some of you do, I fucking love alcohol. It's like the best thing in the world. I think it's like the ultimate form of human bonding. But the sad reality is, Mercury hard cider costs money, and that sucks. So I'd like a free alternative of human bonding instead. Although recently I did go to church a couple of times just for shits and giggles, even though I'm not religious, because I just want that community feeling. A third place, or third space, or whatever the term is. So yeah, anyway, I'm at the parkrun. Eventually, more and more people start showing up, and the run director starts giving their pre-run briefing. And the run director is basically someone who runs the show, someone who tells you about the course, how it's gonna go, what to do, what to avoid, blah blah, etc., etc. But yeah, as the run director is giving his little pre-run briefing, it kind of felt like I was in primary school again. I don't know why I felt that way. I felt a sense of nostalgia in an event that I had never been to before at that point. Maybe it's because like the way, like the fact that it's an older person in authority giving a speech. Well, not a speech, giving a rundown on what to do. I guess it sort of brings me back to the athletics carnivals that we had during primary school and the sausage sizzles. I mean, not that this parkrun did sausage sizzles, but it sort of reminded me of that vibe. Because as you guys know, if you watch my videos, you would know that I think very highly of my primary school and nostalgic things in general, like Habbo Hotel and Habbo Retros and whatnot. I definitely didn't feel that sense of community in high school though, because I fucking hated every moment of it. The only good thing that came out of it was meeting Ixur, pretty much, but that's about it. And maybe that's why I have this sort of irrational attachment to my primary school. So, as much as Old Guildford holds a special place in my heart, maybe it's time for me to move on. Maybe it's time for me to create new memories so that 10 years from now, or even 5 years from now, I can look back at today and think, oh shit, that was a good time. That was pretty nostalgic. And plus, it's not like the things that I enjoyed during primary school are going anywhere. Habbo Hotel is still around. RuneScape is still around. I mean, I can go back to these things whenever I want to, especially when there's versions of these games that have been released by the creators themselves. Official versions, not just private servers or retros. I mean, you have old school RuneScape, which is just a RuneScape as it was in 2007, with a few modern updates. And then you have Habbo Hotel Origins, which I believe is based off of Habbo in 2005, I think. With a few modern updates as well. So it's basically Habbo's version of old school RuneScape. So, these things aren't going anywhere. So I'm good. I mean, even in those two games, I'm sure if I frequented those games enough, I'm sure I could latch myself onto that community. But for now, I'm gonna stick with the parkrun, I guess, primarily. So anyway, the parkrun starts, we all start running. I think at that particular run, I think there were only like 80 or maybe like 120 people around there. We start running. Well, my ass is slow, but I'm running. And as the course goes on, people are lapping me. But as they're lapping me, they shout out, "Oh yeah, good job, keep it up." They're shouting, words of encouragement. So are the park walkers and the other volunteers in general and all those people. And after the run, it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun. But I was so tired, not because of the running, although I'm sure that was part of it. I think I only had like 3 hours of sleep the night before. So you bet your ass I wasn't gonna go for a post-run coffee. Oh yeah, the post-run coffee is. So that's the thing as well. So every parkrun course, they have this thing called a post-run coffee. So after every run, the people of the parkrun, they meet up at a particular coffee shop and just hang out there, but I wasn't gonna stick around for that, not in my sleep-deprived state. But even if I wasn't tired, I don't think I would go to a post-run coffee ever. Even to this day, I haven't gone to any of them because I'm a very mental, silly, shy individual. And like I said before, part of the reason why parkrun appeals to me is because you get to feel social, you get to feel like you're part of a community without actually talking to people. I'm fine with people shouting out, "Oh yeah, good job," and all that stuff, but full-blown conversations, yeah, I'm good. At least not for now. Not for now. I think if you want someone like me to attend one of those post-run coffees, I'd have to go to that same parkrun like 20 times in a row, and then I'll consider something like that. And I haven't even done 20 parkruns yet. I think I've only done like 18. Let me check actually. Okay, no, not 18. I've done 15 parkruns in total. So yeah, those post-run coffee hangouts, that's gonna wait. I'm not ready for conversations yet, although I did have a few conversations with people after the run, and even before the run, even before, I remember having a conversation with a motherfucker before I even showed up to the course. I was making my way down to this park run that I frequent. I was walking down the street, and this random guy, he strikes up a convo with me. I don't know how, I don't know what his opener line was, but he said something like, "Oh yeah, I've seen you around before, yo, what's up?" That kind of thing. And I actually recognized this guy as well. I'm like, "Oh yeah, hey, yeah, I've seen you around too, what's up?" And like after I introduced myself, he was talking about how he's gonna remember my name, Robert, because that's actually his father's middle name. And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Then we made a little bit of small talk as we were walking to the course. But then he had to do a warm-up run, so I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's all good, have fun, man." Now that I think about it though, maybe I should do warm-ups if I want to be faster than 35 minutes, although my personal best is 30 minutes and 30 seconds, I think, something like that. So yeah, that was one of the conversations I've had with people at Parkrun. Another one was actually quite early on into my Parkrun career. I think this encounter that I'm about to tell you, I think it happened only on my third parkrun, and it was my first time on that particular course. It was after the run, and this random woman approached me, and I don't remember what we talked about. Well, not much, anyway. I think we were talking about the weather as well. I remember it being very rainy. I remember her asking me if I see myself attending this particular course again. And I think I remember saying, "Well, the fact that it's rainy, I haven't actually gotten like the real experience of the course, if that makes sense." So maybe. But yeah, funnily enough, that specific course, it actually became my home parkrun, the parkrun that I go to the most. I still see her around sometimes, but we haven't actually spoke since, so that's about as far as my interactions go with the parkrun people. Well, actually, there is one more interaction, which is pretty much the entire reason why I decided to make this video. So, one day I'm looking at the results page as usual, looking for my name, and I see a name there that's actually kind of familiar, or at least someone who shares the same name as someone that I deem familiar. My high school teacher, and I thought to myself, huh, that guy shares the same name as one of my high school teachers from back in the day. That's pretty funny. But then I thought to myself, oh shit, what if it's actually him? So I go on the Facebook page of my particular parkrun course because there's actually photographers everywhere. So if you've ran at a parkrun before, you're basically guaranteed to see your face on there. I mean, I've certainly seen my face on these Facebook pages quite a lot. So I'm flipping and flipping through the photos, and sure enough, there he is. I just ran with my former high school teacher without realizing it, and it really fucking bothered me. Like I said, I really didn't like high school at all. I dealt with bullying a lot, and not from my fellow classmates, which is the typical place where you'd expect bullying to come from, but no, the bullying actually came from the teachers, the people that supposedly that you're meant to trust the most. They treated me very badly. Maybe that's why all of the teachers in Ace Attorney High School are villains. Now, thankfully, the teacher that I saw at the parkrun wasn't one of the teachers who did bully me. But at the same time, though, it still rubbed me the wrong way, because even though he didn't do anything wrong, the fact that he is associated with my high school, like, he just brought back all of those memories, even though he had nothing to do with them. He wasn't even one of my major teachers or anything. He was just one of my homeroom teachers in year 7 in 2012. So given this in mind, at least he wouldn't have recognized me. But him possibly recognizing me, I mean, that's not really the point. Not really. The point is, I seriously considered going to a different parkrun and making that my home parkrun just to avoid being reminded of high school. But then I realized this suburb, this parkrun, this community, it's very beautiful. I'm not sure it's wise for me to say which parkrun that I go to, but let's just say it's a very beautiful, romantic suburb, and so I thought to myself, why give up something that beautiful for such a dumb reason like that? Well, maybe not dumb. I can certainly see from an intellectual standpoint why that would be smarter and healthier psychologically. But the way I see it is if you have something that's beautiful, whether it's a hobby or a community, I wouldn't give it up. Not for a reason like that anyway. And so I decided, I think maybe the next week or something, I show up to the same parkrun again, and I walk up to him and say, hey, you wouldn't happen to be Mr. So-and-so of so-and-so's school? And he said, yeah. Then, again, I don't remember what we talked about, but I remember it being a very pleasant interaction. Apparently, he doesn't even teach at that high school anymore, which probably explains why he's all the way up here in a parkrun course that I intentionally chose because I was worried about this exact thing happening. Yes, you heard that right. This parkrun, well, it's not super far away from me, but it's not the closest one to me. There are other parkrun courses that are closer to me, but this one in particular, I intentionally chose just to reduce the risk of bumping into someone that I know. Okay, don't laugh at me, but the person that I was worried about encountering was TFB from Black Ops The Story Part 1. It sounds rather ridiculous, doesn't it? But that's my reason. But now that I think about it, I don't think TFB is a parkrun type of person. I don't even know if he's still alive. But yeah, yeah. So I think the lesson that can be learned here is that Sydney is a smaller city than I thought. As long as you live in the same city as someone, there's always going to be a chance of bumping into them. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, really. Sydney is a small city, and I have to accept the fact that I have to share it with people that I may not like, or people from my past, or whoever, right? I mean, not that I hated this teacher in particular. I mean, we had a pretty much non existent relationship. Like I said, he was just a homeroom teacher. So, in a way, I guess I had it easy. I could have bumped into my hospitality teacher, someone that I despise the most. But the universe went easy on me. The universe wanted to teach me this lesson without ripping out my butthole too much inside and out. But even if hypothetically I did bump into someone from my past, like what are they gonna do? Jump me? What, you gonna fight me in front of all of these photographers? You gonna jump me in a public place? Like, no man, just if I saw someone from my past that maybe I didn't want to, and if they came up to me, I would just be like, hey, what's up, man? And depending on the person, maybe I'd say some shit like, look, I'm here, you're here, you don't want to talk to me, I probably don't want to too, but we're both here, so there's nothing we can do, so let's just pretend we didn't see each other today, and let's just have fun. That's how I would handle it if I saw someone like TFB or someone from my past in there. So, with that being said, now that I don't have this fear anymore of bumping into people from my past, I might just go to a park run that's actually close to me, and maybe I'll make that my home park run. People are scary, but that's okay. This isn't 2018 anymore. I'm not gonna freak out over the littlest of things. I think I'm getting too old to be bothered by that kind of thing anymore. I mean, sure, I am mental celly, but I'm not that mental celly. Come on. So I'm glad that I approached my former high school teacher and had that pleasant interaction. I'm not gonna lie, it was for selfish reasons in a way, because pretty much the only reason why I approached him was so it could make it less awkward for me every time I turned up at that course. And I think it also recontextualizes that person too. Because at first I just perceived him as, oh, this teacher from my high school. But now I just see him as just another park runner. Like him being my former high school teacher, it's completely irrelevant now. I just see him as just another park runner. I still see him, even to this day. Haven't spoken to him since, but I'm glad that it's no longer awkward for me whenever I do catch his eye. So, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? It's a 5K course, it's not that deep.